This podcast is part of Another Happy Studios,
the home of podcasts with passion.
Hey folks, welcome to the Fishing Trip Files, a Gavin and Stacey podcast brought to you by Another Happy Studios. This is a podcast where every other week my co-hosts and I like to take a look back at the wonderful, hilarious and silly little British sitcom that is Gavin and Stacey. Speaking of co-hosts, I am joined today, as I am every episode, by the one of kind Ari. Ari, how are you?
Hello. I'm good. I'm pretty good.
Not going to ask me how I am?
No. How are you, Pierce?
I'm really good, thank you. Thank you, appreciate it. And of course we're joined by the brilliant Maylina. How you doing, Maylina?
I'm good.
You're not going to ask me how I am?
How are you?
I already said how I am. Well, why do you always ask me. You always ask me. I don't know why you do this.
Hey, Pierce, did you know we live in different countries?
Yes, we do live in different countries. I'm from the UK. Where are you from, Ari?
I'm from Texas, United States of America. Hey, Maylina, where are you from?
Canada.
Great.
Specifically, I'm from Quebec.
Are we going to do this every episode?
I hope so.
I feel like, because Maylina and I don't necessarily sound like we're from anywhere like specific in the United States, but we make a lot of references to the fact that we are from different countries. So I feel like it would make sense to set that up early.
Oh, we can figure something out. We'll figure something out. But before we figure something out, we have to talk about episode 4 of Gavin and Stacey. Do we know the title of the episode?
I don't. I'm behind on my TV log.
Can I guess?
You can guess, but you'll probably get it wrong.
Really? I was gonna say Wedding Fairy or however it's called.
I was gonna say The Wedding Fair.
See, that's what I would have thought as well. But for some reason, this episode is called The Big Secret. And
okay.
I don't understand that at all.
Well,
because
they're keeping a secret.
Yeah, but it's not a big part of the episode.
Oh, and then there's another secret at the end.
Oh, there is another secret at the end. That's true.
Spoilers.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a weird little thing. But anyway, regardless, this episode was aired on the 27th of May, 2007. So nearly 18 years ago. This episode can nearly legally drink in the UK. That's
all right. Chill
insane.
out.
What?
Don't be telling me that 2007 was 18 years. That's like a thing that we know in our minds, but we don't say out loud. I feel like.
All right, yeah,
I'm fine with that. I was 6 years old. That's pretty little. I was a little baby.
I had just turned 7.
But do you remember what your birthday theme was? Did you have a birthday theme for your 7th birthday?
No, that's a pretty. From what I can, maybe it's a thing in Britain too, but it's more of a American thing. I feel like.
I don't remember my early ones. I think my mom would usually do one for me. Guess what? I think the last birthday I had a theme for before I kind of outgrew that was my 12th birthday. And do you want to guess what the theme was?
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Yeah! I had to think for a second.
I think the one I do remember is on my 13th birthday, I believe, or my 10th, I'm not sure. One of them turned out to be on Friday the 13th. So I had like a Friday the 13th.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Which had nothing to do with the horror movie. It just meant we had like ice cubes with like fake spiders in it and stuff like that.
That must happen for you quite a bit, right? Friday the 13th birthdays?
I think I can only think of like 2 off the top of my head.
Uh-huh.
But I was a weird kid, so I was like on the lookout for Friday the 13th birthday. So when it happened, that was like peak for me.
Why are we here? We're talking about Gavin and Stacey, right? Do you have any overall thoughts on this episode?
I thought it was great. I love this one. This might be my favorite so far.
May?
It's a good episode.
Oh, okay. So we're very brief today on our. All right, I'll just say another great episode then.
Okay. I liked it. I liked it. I think I liked episode 2 slightly more than this one, but it was very good. I liked it a lot. It happened. I like the episodes where there's more of like, I guess like more events.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah, like I like this episode. This is just like, we've had like the Barry lot going to Essex, and this one is the Essex lot going to Barry, and yeah, we've just got more time with the characters. They're basically fully established now, so we're like getting into the real meat of it and like seeing stuff happen. Love it. Also, what happened? How do we open? What happens first?
We're on the phone.
As usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
They're yapping about how
yeah.
Smithy and Nessa shagged in Gav's garden.
Yes, yeah. Should we start a list of Smithy's crimes? Because every time he appears on screen, he does something terrible.
You
Anyway.
can start that list, but
Okay.
I would like to not be involved.
Anyway.
Because Smithy is Pierce's hero. I don't know if you know
Yeah,
this.
no,
Pierce endorses everything Smithy does.
Pierce is a Smithy apologist.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No, this time it was calling, and I wrote this down. He called Nessa the worst example of a woman he's ever met. Like,
He's ever came across, I think, is the phrase that he used.
okay, shut the fuck up.
That's that's the whole gag.
Yeah. I do think it's funny that they're like talking, and Stacey will go like, Nessa thinks that Smithy's a prick, and then Gavin goes like, well, Smithy thinks that Nessa is the worst example of a woman he's ever seen, and
Come across.
Stacey goes like, wow, whatever. Like, she doesn't say wow, but it's funny to like roast somebody's friend, and then when that person goes like, well, my friend doesn't like your friend either, you go
No,
like, what a piece of shit.
she wasn't gasping because he roasted her. She was gasping because Gavin said, Smithy said that Nessa is the worst woman he's ever
Yeah.
come across, and then
Yeah.
Gavin said,
Oh,
literally,
okay.
like,
I missed
come
that.
across.
Oh,
There we
It's a
go.
sex joke.
that's really funny.
And then she goes, oh, Gavin, stop! I'm at work. That's
All right,
the
I'm
vibe.
Back, I'm back on it. This is that's really fucking funny.
But like, also, of course, like, he's never. I wrote this before I got the sex joke, but I wrote I wrote worst example of a woman he's ever met. How would he know? He only hangs out with little girls.
Oh God, you're so right. I do like that Smithy, that Stacey and Gavin have like a professional work conversation like halfway through, but at the end, after they've had their professional chat, Stacey calls Gavin back and is like, "I love you," and it's very cute. It's a nice little moment.
I've done that.
Oh, you've done that?
I thought that was very cute. Sometimes I'll like end a conversation with my partner and we'll like call each other back to be like, I forgot to say.
Oh,
So I just
That's
thought that
really
was
sweet.
very cute.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the title card.
And then Gavin goes to Smithy's work.
I wrote, bro has a job.
Yeah, he's like a handyman, a general handyman.
He's not very good at it, though.
No, he's fallen asleep in the bath at this woman's house that
Yeah.
he's supposed to be tiling the
This
bathroom
does
off.
make sense why he's always like covered in like plaster, though, because I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
that was
he's
just
annoying.
like he was either he was like just a slob, or like it was some kind of strange fashion statement I wasn't getting from the like mid 2000s. But it turns
Yeah,
out,
no,
he just works with plaster, I guess.
it's a pretty common look. Like, it's not an uncommon look for people in the UK. Because, like,
To be covered in plaster.
for like people who work in that industry, they'll just walk
okay.
around like that all day, every day.
Wait,
Yeah.
I just realized. So that jeans jacket that he wore, that was plaster. I thought the jean jacket was just made to look like that, to look like grungy or whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah.
It's like an artist being covered in paint.
Got
Yeah,
it. No,
that makes sense.
That's what it gave, the vibes it gave me. I just didn't think that like that was his. I thought it was like how people buy.
Yeah,
like,
I thought he bought it like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, like
Yeah, no. Oh,
I think
that's
it's
interesting.
I
didn't know
funny that like Gavin, because this is private property.
Yeah, right. This blows my mind as well. Like, how the fuck did Gavin get in there?
Yeah, if Smithy worked at like a gas station, it'd be a different story. But like,
Yeah.
he's going into someone's home looking for the bathroom, right? And then just like talking to his like, and the girl's there. She's in the house because because of like what happens later. She comes in behind and looks like.
I think we're supposed to infer that she's not in the house, that she's at work and and she arrives home halfway through their conversation.
All right, still a risky fucking thing to do.
Yeah, it's still crazy. But I just
Yeah.
wanted to make a point that you were in fact wrong.
All right, well, chill out. All right, bro's preying on my downfall. I've never been wrong in my life. Smithy mentions that he says the phrase half 12.
yes, I wrote that down too.
Yes.
Let's figure out what that means, Maylina.
Okay, go for
Does
it.
that mean I think
half
that
of 12 is
I think that
6.
means 11:30. Maylina, you're locking in 6.
Yeah, half of 12 is definitely 6. If I divide 12 by 2, I get 6. So.
All right, Pierce, thoughts?
12:30 is 12:30.
Oh fuck, we were both wrong.
Why is this so difficult for you to grasp? Obviously, I know, Maylina, you were fucking about.
I don't know. Okay, so I feel like it should be like the Roman numerals thing. Where, like, if the smaller thing comes before, like, the smaller number comes before the bigger number and gets
So you think we should revert to using a system they used 2,000 years ago?
No. But, like, okay, so in Roman numerals, if you have, like, I's and then V's, the I's get subtracted from the V's. So if you're saying the minutes before the hour, I feel like you should subtract the minutes from the hour.
Oh.
I just think if you say half means less to me.
Yes, exactly.
If I'm like, I'm going to take half of this pie, that's less.
But
whatever, I'm over it. I'm just saying it's wrong.
I'm over it. I'm just saying
you should
it's
say
wrong.
you should say 12 and a half if you mean 12:30.
Yeah. Half past 12.
12 half.
12 half.
Yes.
12. But that just doesn't make any sense because half 12
Your
is half
thing
past
doesn't
12.
make sense.
What? 12 just
Oh, whatever, man. It doesn't matter. You guys are just.
Let's put it to a vote.
We're not doing this again.
Bro
This is
doesn't
what the
like
people want.
democracy.
This is what the people want, Pierce.
Oh my god. Are we still on this? Just before Smithy gets up and
Okay.
talks about how he went to sleep at 12:30. James Corden, he picks up the phone because Gavin rings him. Like, he's right in front of him and Gavin rings him.
Yeah.
And the way he picks up the phone, he has like a really hilarious sleepy voice. Like, he can barely talk. He's like, "You alright? I'm doing that bathroom and I was Abbott's Road."
Yeah, it's clearly a jeans nap where like you wake up and you don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. I hate this feeling when you wake up and you know you've overslept. It's like the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah.
So I don't envy Smithy in this moment.
He deserves it.
Yeah. And Gavin wants to talk to him. Gavin has something that he wants to say to him, but Smithy's like, "I've got to work. We're going to have to talk and tile," which is a phrase I really like, the way it sounds.
Yeah. I would say Gavin mentions that Smithy and him have been, well, and a few other people have been like friends since they were like basically toddlers. And that makes sense because I feel like the worst people in the world, usually their friends are friends with them because they've been friends with them for a while, and it would feel weird to end the friendship there.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's actually really realistic to Smithy's character. I also think it's cool that like these people are all like I've heard like bits and pieces of like different things about Gavin and Stacey. Like there's certain things that I know from like just listening to British people. And so all of these characters that like they mention, like, oh, we were friends with this person, or like, oh, I can't wait to tell this person. I think a lot of sitcoms often, like in the early days of it, will introduce names and then those people are never going to get brought up again. And I like that Gavin and Stacey, all of these people, as far as I know from listening to British people, are all real characters that come on the show later on.
And
I just think that that's really cool that like from the beginning they've already it gives the show like an extra layer of realism, I guess.
Yeah,
that, like,
right.
These are real
people. You know, in real life, people probably have about 100 people or so that they know sort of peripherally, no matter how like not that well you might know them, and you see these people relatively frequently, not all the time, but you'll see them at big moments in your life, and this show does that really well. It manages to build an entire network of people that these characters know. It's really cool.
Especially, I feel like if you're talking to like a third person about that person, that probably means you see them pretty regularly.
Yeah, for sure.
The Gavin and Stacey extended universe.
There could be so many spin-offs from this show. But I'm sort
if
of
this
glad
was
there
American, they would have already done like 3 of them.
Smithy assumes that Gavin wants to talk about an issue with his prostate.
Yes.
I don't know why he makes this assumption. It's the first thing he jumps to.
But he's always assuming something that's like, whenever Gavin's like, I have some news for you, he's always assuming something that's like completely out of fucking left field. Like,
Is he?
I can't
Like
think
when?
of any
Yeah.
other examples.
Well, the last episode, when they were like, at the pub, and Gavin was like, talking about the engagement. Doesn't Smithy like jump to some wild conclusion about it?
He just assumes that Stacey dumped him.
Yeah.
Is that wild? I don't think that's. I think that's less wild than the prostate thing.
Hopefully they get wilder.
Smithy is always jumping to conclusions, I feel like.
Kind of, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll
Wow,
have to,
Pierce
we'll have to
shutting us
reconsider.
I like that. Like they talk. He says, "Hey, will you be my best man?" and stuff. And they start hugging. The lady turns up in the background, and they both immediately go to like stand like children that like their mom just caught them doing something bad. Yeah, like looking down, hands clasped together. Very much like kids who just got caught like hand in the cookie jar or something like that.
Smithy
it's
just
very
starts
fun.
crying. It's a bit homoerotic as well. While Smithy is crying, like, and Gavin says he's got to go, Smithy goes, "Oh, why do you have to leave?" And it's like they're like, it's as if they're lovers, which you know I'm into.
And it's not the only homoerotic plot point in this episode. We'll get to that later.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that is off the top of my head, but I look forward to that.
We'll get to it.
Is Mrs. Henry in Doctor Who?
Unfortunately, Mrs. Henry is not credited, and I am unable to find out whether she was in Doctor Who. It's the same situation as the woman in the
That was just the homeowner
arcade last time.
for that house.
It was just the person who actually owned the house.
She showed up during filming. They decided to add it into the plot.
She's like, "Is it okay if I use my bathroom?" Oh no, you still going? Okay.
They just kept rolling.
They actually destroyed her bathroom for this take.
and another thing, while Smithy is crying and like talking about how he's going to be a good best man, he mentions that he's going to give Gavin the best stag since Chinese Alan got married in 1999.
I wrote this
Chinese
down.
Alan is a character who comes back.
I was hoping Chinese Alan would come back.
Yeah, Chinese Alan. He's a fan favorite. Is Chinese Alan. We're going to get a lot of lore about him.
I also like that Gavin is like fully ready to go in on the prostate story. Like you can see in his face that he's like, he has that look on his face where it's like whatever Smithy says, I'm 100% committing to.
He's not happy about it, I will say.
No.
Yeah, definitely not. I don't think anyone would be, but he's like, I'm here. I'm going to back my boy on this one.
Yeah.
There's some great examples of committing to the bit later in this episode too.
And then we cut to Barry, where Stacey, Nessa is having a little sleepover at Stacey's house, and they're looking through like wedding magazines. They're bleaching their mustaches, usual stuff.
I will say, I gathered that this must be Stacey's bedroom, just based on it looks like Stacey's bedroom. I feel like Nessa's bedroom looks very different.
Oh, there's something here that I could tell you, but I don't know whether I will.
Bit of sizzle?
No, it's actually not even a thing. What I was gonna say is, we never see Nessa's house. We never see where Nessa lives.
That's unfortunate.
But actually, I'm not gonna say anything. But
Okay.
for listeners, I know what is wrong with that statement. So don't come at me.
Gonna get cancelled by the Gavin and Stacey heads. Okay, I'll keep that on the top of my mind, and I'll call you out for your mistake when it comes up.
Yes.
When it comes up,
We're about to get actually to death. So many emails next week.
She lives in our hearts and souls, is where she lives.
Yeah, that's true. She's our queen. But our queen is a bit down on herself. She doesn't think she's going to look good enough to be Stacey's maid of honor. This is just heartbreaking.
Yeah, I thought this whole little like monologue she gives hits pretty hard. Just like the idea of like not looking right. Like to have like, I don't know, like happy life experiences. Is pretty bleak. I think very resonant for a lot of people.
Yeah. It's a really lovely sentiment. It's a really lovely moment for the two of them. It like does show how strong their bond is. And just for the record, Nessa is hot, and she would be a sick bridesmaid.
And it's especially cool. It's especially a cool scene because, like, other than this scene, in every scene that Nessa's been in, where like her appearance has been brought up, or like she seems like she has like pretty high self-confidence and self-worth. But then we get to this scene, and even like later on in the episode when she's wearing that like lingerie thing, and she goes like, I look fabulous. She's like fully confident about it. I just think it's very cute that like that might not be that might be like a little bit of a front if she like I don't know. It felt like a bit of like a cute peek behind the curtain, I guess.
Well, yeah, it's but it's not even like because I feel like a typical sitcom scene might be Nessa like stressing about like, oh, how am I gonna like look pretty enough to be a bridesmaid? But like she's already accepted. She's like, I don't look right for this part. I'm not gonna be a bride. I can't be involved in a wedding. That's just not in the cards for me. And yeah, I don't know. And she's like fully like it seems like she's fully accepted it. Like this is my lot.
Yeah.
It's also like from the point of view of like she wants to be a good friend, which is like messed up to be like, I want to be a good friend, so I'm going to take myself out of this situation. Yeah. But it's like even when she's being down on herself, she's still such an S tier friend. And again, that I don't think she should be like not involved in the wedding party. That's not what I'm saying.
But there is one really funny line where she's talking about how she was walking down the aisle and she could tell that everyone was laughing, and then she goes, and not just because I fell over, which is just such a funny visual gag without any visuals at all. You can just picture it in your head. It's really funny. Nice little light-hearted moment to like break the tension. And
I like that she names other people that would make better bridesmaids than her, all people that like Stacey does not know.
Yeah, they're all like so there's Kat Deely, who's a TV presenter, Kate Thornton, who's a journalist, and then Leanne Battersby, who is a fictional character from a TV show.
Yeah, a lot of people were named in this episode that I did not know.
Yeah, I've got information about all of them. Don't worry.
Hell yeah!
Thank you.
I will say I didn't like following this bit up with the joke about Nessa's facial hair.
Oh, really?
It's like you kind of like end on, you know, like you're getting this beat about like how like looks are important, like I want you to be there because you're my friend, and then she's like, yeah, except you look fucking ugly with your mustache.
All right, when you put it like that, sure, it's awful, but I think it's a nice little thing that just like breaks the tension and brings us back to this is a sitcom.
I don't know.
But,
I think they should have gone for something different.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Add that to James Corden's list of crimes. Obviously, Ruth Jones can do whatever she wants. I don't like that James Corden was involved.
He was involved in everything about this, brother.
Shut up, Pierce.
No, he got taken out of the room for every scene we like.
Pierce, if you want me to like this show, you have to stop pointing out that James Corden wrote it.
All right, I'll do my best.
Ari's gonna quit the podcast.
So we cut to like the next day or like a following day, like a following morning, and Mick is waiting for everyone to get in the car.
There's some jaunty guitar riffs on top of this.
Oh yeah, it's In the Morning by Razorlight. There's a few like motifs that come on throughout this show, and that's one of them. And they're waiting for Smithy, who's late.
Yes, and it's not just Smithy that's the problem. I also have like a pretty big family. Their family is just like one kid, but it's a lot of people involved in this car thing, and I related very much to the feeling of like we're trying to get a bunch of people into a car and no one's locking in.
No one's locking in.
No, but I relate to this whole scene. I was stressed out. Like, Smithy was like, I have to take a shower, and I was like, you fucking piece of shit, get in the car.
I will say, I think Smithy asking if you can take a shower is criminal behavior. But on the other hand, I do think everyone else could chill out a little bit about this wedding fair. I don't think the wedding dresses are all going to be gone if Smithy takes 5 more minutes to get ready.
Exactly, and fucking Gavin doesn't have to be there to shop for wedding dresses, does he?
Yeah.
Like, it's only Stacey, and she lives around the corner from it or whatever. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
These are some fascinating opinions.
Oh, do you have a different opinion?
I don't want to say.
No, go on, please.
Yeah, go.
This was probably planned in advance. Figure your shit out. If you know that you're like a late person and you know you have a tiling job beforehand, figure that out. You're at work, it's like 5:30, you gotta leave at 6, it's like a 15-minute thing, you want to take a shower, maybe don't take a nap.
This is the ADHD versus unconfirmed autism difference, I think.
And then, they don't let him have a shower, so Smithy gets changed in front of them all. And Pam and Gav start singing that stripper song. It's a cute little moment. But I love it when they're all just having a good time together. I think it's nice.
Is that the stripper song in England? Are stripper songs different country to country? Because that's not the stripper song to me.
That's a good question. What
If
is the
someone's
stripper
like,
song to you?
Da da na na da 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 da.
Oh no, that. Ori, do you have a different stripper song?
I don't have a different stripper song, I'm sorry.
Interesting.
You just weird Canadians, man. Da 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 da.
Never heard this song in my life.
Oh yeah, no. I think it's even called The Stripper. And then where do we go?
Now we're in the car.
Yeah, they're in the car
No, we're not.
and they're
Well,
Are we not?
fuck's sake.
No, we go from when they pull away. We cut to Nessa and Gwen talking about how Nessa's not really the marrying kind. She says, "I'm not really the marrying kind." There we go. You guys are just giving me really confused looks for like a solid 5 seconds. Yeah.
Couldn't remember that.
We find out that Nessa used to work, like, quote, work the ships. I presume this means she, like, worked on cargo boats.
And now we're in the car, right?
No, fucking slow down. Right. Bryn walks in. He's got some shopping. I think he's been to Morrison's. I think it's hard to be sure which.
Not Tesco's?
No, it's a different bag, but it's hard to see with the old branding, and it's not really in shot.
Right. Great.
But there's a cute little moment with Bryn and Stacey where Bryn walks into the living room and Stacey's doing some hoovering, and he's like, "Oh, excuse me, I must have walked into the wrong house. You're not my niece. She's allergic to hoovering." And Stacey's like playing along. It's really sweet.
Yeah. Hiya.
Hiya. Yeah. Hello, I'm Bryn.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
Hiya.
And Bryn was so excited about the wedding fair he couldn't get to sleep till 10:30.
I will say, up until we saw the wedding fair, didn't know what the fuck that was. Is that a common thing?
No, I didn't know
So
either.
I'm wondering, did these used to be like a thing? Because now when you're planning a wedding, I feel, at least for like women, I feel like the thing is just to make a Pinterest board for it.
Yeah, that's true.
But obviously people weren't doing that in 2007. So maybe you did just go to a wedding fair?
I feel like fairs were more common. So when I was maybe 9 or so, my dad this is going to make me sound like such a nerd. My dad took me to a computer fair, which was basically this wedding fair, but instead of like lingerie and like magicians, it was just different types of computers and stuff. It was the first time I ever saw a water-cooled computer, which was really cool.
My God, that's so cool, Pierce.
Thank you very much. I'm not gonna accept any sarcasm. I'm just gonna take it at face value.
What do you
Thank
mean?
much.
I'm so genuine.
I
about
know.
this.
I know
Tell
you
me
are.
more about
I know.
computers.
I'm going. Oh, believe me, I'm about to. No.
What's your favorite computer, Pierce?
I don't have one. Shut the fuck up.
What were the specs? What were the specs like on that computer?
I don't know. I was 9. I didn't care. It just looked cool.
What was the PCU?
It's either PSU or CPU, for fuck's sake. ECU. What the fuck is that?
I might have been confusing it with the French version, honestly.
To be fair, I'm using a computer to join this call that Pierce helped me buy and then set up. So you can't be too mean.
The point is, I think maybe fairs were more common before the internet was like as useful as it is today.
Yeah. Looks cool though. I'd love to go to one of those. Because I was thinking, I helped my mom plan her wedding back in 2013.
Congratulations.
And no, they got divorced. We just went to various different places.
Oh, shit. Right. But, okay, regardless of Maylina's parents' marital state, before we get to the wedding fair, they're playing, they're in the car, the Essex lot are in the car playing I Spy. Is I Spy a British thing, or is this a thing that you guys have over there?
No,
as well?
that's universal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Like, has it reached us yet?
No, like, I just fucking whatever. Shut up.
Can they spy things over across the pond?
I know you don't have 007, but do you have this type of spy? On His Majesty's Secret Service. And then Smithy introduces Pam and Mick to Cruise, Marry, Shag.
Yes. I'd like to make a proposal here.
I also have a proposal. Are we going to...
It might be the same.
Go on.
So, first off, I know this game. I think there's tons of different versions, but I know this is like Kiss, Marry, Kill.
Yeah.
So I thought it could be interesting. Could we do Cruise, Marry, Shag, and Kill with the main 4 characters?
Oh, geez, I wonder which one you're gonna choose for Kill.
So my suggestion was just our own game of Cruise, Marry, Shag, and I've got 3 people for each of you. But yeah, we can. All right, we can do yours.
Yours sounds better if you already have some characters lined up. Yeah, let's go for it.
Maylina, we'll do you first.
Okay.
You're right. Your first person. So you got 3 people: Quentin, David Tennant, and Nessa.
I guess I'll marry Quentin because I feel like you get a 2-in-1 there.
Yeah.
Cruise ship. I'll choose Nessa, and so then I choose David Tennant for Shag, obviously, because he's the only one left.
All right, Ari, your 3 people. Your first one, Quentin. I'm joking.
You better go on a cruise with him, I swear to God.
All right, Ari. Your first one is Kristen Ritter.
Okay.
Maylina. and your final one is James Corden.
Alright, no, this is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Wait, no, it's not. I forgot we don't have a kill one here.
No, we don't. Cruise, Marry, Shag.
I guess I have to go on a cruise. Okay, no, I got this. All right, I'm going to cruise with James Corden, and then I push him overboard.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
Maylina and I will get married, and then I'll shag Kristen Ritter.
That makes sense.
She is pretty hot.
Who's Kristen Ritter?
Jessica Jones.
Oh yeah.
And
wait, Pierce, hold on.
Holding on.
Let's do you.
Oh shit. Okay.
Let's do Nessa.
Yep.
Maylina, do you have one?
Quentin. I'm
Quentin.
Stacey's mom. And Belinda, because you said she was hot.
Oh shit. Okay.
Belinda from the new season of Doctor Who.
The new companion.
All right, so your options are Nessa, Pam, and Belinda from the new season of Doctor Who.
All right. Right, hang on. I'm gonna have to go around the world with Pam. That leaves me with Nessa and Belinda. I'd marry Belinda and have sex with Nessa. There we go.
Sick.
Okay.
I feel like Belinda would be a better wife.
Wait, so can you now explain? Okay, so for this first round, it's Sharon Osbourne, Anne Robinson, and Jimmy.
Oh yeah.
Cranky. I know Anne Robinson is from The Weakest Link, right?
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
I don't know any of the other names for this entire episode.
You don't know Sharon Osbourne?
Yeah, she's Ozzy Osbourne's wife.
That's the one, yeah. Jimmy Cranky, I didn't actually know. This is the only time I've heard Jimmy Cranky be referenced at all, but he seems to be a fictional character in like comedy sketches. He seems to be like a little boy who's portrayed by a middle-aged Scottish woman.
Okay.
And on Pam's Go, she gets Bernard Manning, who and she chooses to have a cruise with Bernard Manning. Bernard Manning looks to have been a comedian, and he actually died 2 weeks after this episode aired,
Whoa,
which is crazy.
She killed him.
She killed him, man. She went on the cruise and killed him. She chooses to marry Lloyd Grossman.
Because she likes his sauces.
Yeah, she likes his sauces. Apparently he makes sauce. And she marries... she frags Shank Bruno. She shags Frank Bruno. Frank Bruno used to be a boxer, apparently.
Okay, cool.
And then it's Gavin's go, and Gavin says that he's going to shag Pauline Fowler, who is a fictional character from EastEnders, apparently. I don't know that much about her, other than that. But that is the end of the cruise, marry, shag segment.
Yes. And
well
then
done,
do they then arrive at the fair?
They then arrive at the fair is correct. What happens?
Okay, good, because there's a absolute banger that plays over this scene.
Oh, yes. Suddenly by KT Tunstall.
Okay, good. I'm glad you know the name of the song, because I didn't write it down, but I did Shazam it and then add it to my Spotify.
Oh, what? You'd never heard that song?
I'd heard it. No, I had heard it.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't, know it, I was like, what is this? I like it.
Her face is a map of the world. It's a map of the world.
Yeah.
And you can see she's a beautiful girl. She's a beautiful girl. And everything around her
Love
is
early
a
2000s
pool of
probably
light.
gay songs.
People who surround her feel the benefit of it. It makes you calm. She'll hold you captivated in her proud. Suddenly I see. It's the one I want to be. Suddenly I see. Why the hell it means so much? When are you going to stop me? Suddenly I see. This is what I want to be.
We're doing the whole song.
Suddenly I see. She's taller than most. She's looking at me. I can see her eyes looking through the page of a magazine. All right, we're moving on.
Oh my god!
All right, nice intermission there.
I actually, when we watched the first episode of Gavin and Stacey, I liked the song that was at the end.
Yeah.
So I looked up Gavin and Stacey playlist.
Yeah,
and so I
good.
knew this song was coming. I just didn't know when. So when it came up, I was like, "Yes, further down the playlist."
That's really cool. What other songs are on there that you know are coming but not sure when?
Let's see.
You just sighed and pulled up Spotify.
Gavin and Stacey Ultimate Playlist. All right, next one. We got Chasing Cars by the Snow Patrol. That's always nice.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
waste time.
Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. That's one.
Chasing cars. If I lay here.
If I just lay here. Would you lie with me and just forget the world?
Oh, we've got All I Want for Christmas by Mariah Carey.
It probably plays in the Christmas special.
No, pour de vrai. Wait, no, for real. Sorry, mixed up my languages there. I'm so bilingual, it's insane.
Right. So yeah, they get to the wedding fair, and everyone's like greeting each other and having a good time, and then Smithy sees Nessa and just immediately walks away. He just does a 180 and leaves, which I think is really funny.
I think it's also weird that Stacey's planning on picking out a dress here, and her husband is in the same room. Isn't that like a big thing? You don't want him to see your dress.
Yeah.
I just think it's risky.
Yeah, sure, it is risky. Okay, I get that. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, and then Stacey just, like, they walk in and Stacey just takes full control of the whole situation.
Yeah.
And she's like, gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss to the max, right?
Yeah.
She's like, there are 6 weeks till we get married. It's all here in this room. We just got to find it. Come with me, ladies. Good luck, boys. And Pam just goes, what a girl. And too true, bestie, too true.
Yeah, she takes so much control, in fact, that Pam wants to fuck her. That's how much control she takes of the situation.
I took a sip of water and I nearly took a spit take when you said that.
So she's so good at planning that it makes your fiance's mom want to bed you.
Yeah. And then we have the montage of them all looking around.
And I like how many different things are at this wedding fair. And and I think it's funny that there's a stag party like area as well.
Yeah.
Because to me that's not part of the wedding.
But just before that, I want to mention that Bryn gets absolutely like mind blown by the chocolate fountain.
Yes.
He like loves
Oh
it.
yeah.
I did say that'd be the first thing I'd go to if there was like a wedding fair and there was a chocolate fountain. I wouldn't be looking at
Yeah.
anything else. I'd waste so much
What are
time
you
on it.
choosing to dip into the chocolate fountain? What are you going for?
I like raspberries with chocolate. I like strawberries with chocolate, blueberries with chocolate. Honestly, I just like chocolate, I think.
Ari, what are you talking?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Maylina that like basically anything you could dip in chocolate is probably really good.
That's true.
I will say, this would have to be a pretty fantastical chocolate fountain situation. But my favorite chocolate dipped item is like the chocolate covered coffee beans. Have you had these?
Oh, I've heard of these. I don't like coffee, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I mean it doesn't like get you like hopped up or anything. I guess unless you ate like a shit ton of them. It's just a little like coffee flavor.
yeah, like
But,
absolutely buzzed off
like
coffee beans.
and they're like very crunchy.
I'm team marshmallow all the way. Marshmallow.
I was gonna say, I think we're at the part where the two moms are talking, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, and okay, so they're talking about Stacey's brother,
Yes.
and I'm
Yes.
making sure I had to take a second to make sure I was thinking of the right mom. No, they're talking about Stacey's brother, and I think it's really funny because you can tell that this is a period piece because Pam says is he married, and she goes, no, he's gay. And
Yeah.
I just think the look that she gives, it's so funny. Like the look that Stacey's mom gives. No, not Stacey. Yes, Stacey's mom gives. It's such a weird, like, little, like, self-satisfied little smirk where it's just like, I don't know, it's so calm. I don't know, I just really like that look.
I also like the idea that he couldn't be married because he was gay. Like now that's less
this is before gay marriage
applicable.
was legal in the UK.
Yeah.
But I mean, he lived in Spain, so that doesn't really count. But
I did write down that Gwen does not appear to be homophobic. Because
Yeah.
at first it feels like what we knew about Jason so far was that he like wasn't really like he wasn't really with the family right now. And like so like this being from the time period I was like thinking it could be like this like drama with like are they going to accept their gay son or something.
yeah,
But no, they've already moved past that.
legit.
He's estranged for other reasons that we have.
We are going to talk about
learned
this a
yet.
lot more next week, but I do want
Yeah.
to say that I love how Jason being gay isn't ever played for laughs. It's like it's not.
Mhm.
It's just like a fact of the universe, and it's not. It's not
Yeah.
really questioned at all. I mean, don't get me wrong. The fact that Jason is gay does play a minor role in some jokes.
Yeah,
but-
like in this very scene.
Yeah, the jokes are never just like this man is gay. Isn't that funny? It's
Yeah. Pam is like, I wish I had a homosexual for a son. Or something.
yeah. Pam's just being like vaguely homophobic with the stereotypes, but her heart is in the right place. So I feel like that's what counts.
And then we cut to Uncle Bryn, who
No, we don't. Stacey walks out in her wedding dress.
Yes, sorry, I skipped like 2 notes. Sorry, yes. Stacey walks out with a wedding dress. And it's the most 2007 wedding dress I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Oh, is it? I don't keep up with wedding dress fashion trends.
I don't know.
What-
I don't know.
what's-
Because my aunt, I had an aunt who got married in 2007, and that was the dress, pretty much. Like, so
Oh, for
that's
real?
all I'm associating it with. I was like, well, my aunt got married in 2007, and therefore that's what 2007 wedding dresses look like.
I think she looks terrific. I think she looks great in it. In her
I didn't
dress.
say she didn't. Stop.
All
Get off
right,
my
I
ass.
didn't say that you didn't say that she looks.
I, for one, think she looks terrific.
I wrote, now things are starting to come together a little bit for this season. I feel like I do think, because I wasn't sure at the beginning, I do think the finale will be the wedding.
Okay, so you think the wedding is going to be in episode 6?
Yes.
Okay. Do you agree,
Maylina,
Maylina?
thoughts?
Do you concur?
Well, between episode 1 and episode 3, there's been a month, and it's in 6 weeks, and 4 more episodes. That's so therefore using that logic.
Two more episodes.
What?
2 more episodes. There's 5 and 6 left.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
totally right. But the rest of my math has been great. And I want that on the record. So 2 more episodes until the end of season 1. And so again, we know that between 1 and 4, and I've said this, between 1 and 4, a month has passed. So we got 1 more month until episode 6, if we use that logic. Wait, no, we got half a month until episode 6. So no, I think it's going to be a season 2 thing.
I want to say, Maylina, you are fluent in Japanese, because that was a yes-no question that we asked you, and you spent about a minute and a half answering it.
He started doing algebra.
And I kind of answered it. Okay,
Fucking
let's
hell.
keep this episode real fucking interesting. I'll only answer yes or no for the rest of it, see how many fucking viewers we get.
Yeah, I shouldn't complain. Maylina provides like 80% of our content.
Fucking assholes.
And then what happens?
Is this where my next note is about the wedding magician?
It is. We cut to Bryn being fascinated by the least charismatic magician in the world.
Is this Doctor Who?
Magician played by Brendan Patricks, and Brendan also played Edmund Thursday in the Series 7 episode of Doctor Who, The Crimson Horror.
Yeah, who is that?
I have no idea. Edmund Thursday. That's all. I just got the name, and I was like, "Job done." There we go.
Amazing. Yeah, no, amazing. Okay, so he is in Doctor Who.
He is indeed Brendan Patricks. What a guy.
He doesn't seem to be wanting to be at this wedding fair, I will say.
No, he doesn't at all. He's like the least charismatic guy in the world.
I've also not heard of having a wedding magician. Is this a common thing?
No, it's not. It's not like you have a wedding cake, you have a priest, and you have a magician.
It's the most important part of planning your wedding is locking in the magician.
I'm inspired. I'll have a magician at my wedding. Why not?
I feel like you've got to have a little bit of a poker face if you're a magician. You shouldn't be too excited about your own tricks.
Yeah, but this guy brings it to the extreme, doesn't he? Is that your card? Cool. And then we got to
do we go outside to Mick and Gavin?
You are bang on the money. Tell me more.
So Gavin likes this, I forget what the car is, but there's this fancy car. Yeah, okay. So he's like admiring this Bentley that they could rent to take like him and Stacey to the wedding. But he's like, but no, we're not gonna do that. Stacey really wants a carriage, and Mick's like, bro, grow some balls and tell her you want the Bentley.
I think that's verbatim. That's exactly what he says. Yeah.
And then he says, I think this is key. He says he lies an average of 7 times a day to Pam, mostly substantial lies. And so, Maylina, I wanted to ask you, as the only one of us who's currently in a relationship, how many times a day do you lie to Quentin?
That's a brilliant question.
18. No, I don't.
Oh, shit.
Listen.
Damn, problematic queen.
But I will say, like, last episode, I was talking about how, Mick was kind of redeemed for me. And I think that maybe the show heard me and was like, well, great, we can turn him back into being a piece of shit. But, like, that's not how life works, Gavin and Stacey.
We have a little moment after this where
we have a scene with the magician again.
Yes, I have a note for this scene. I wonder if it's the same.
Go ahead, you go, and I'll tell you if it's the same one.
So the magician says to Bryn, he's like listing off like things he can, different magic tricks he could do. He says, "I can saw the best man in half," and I cheered.
Oh, your note's way better than mine.
What was your note, mate?
I just liked that he goes, well, that does change things. Because, like,
yeah.
They're talking about who he can saw, and then Uncle Bryn's like, can you saw me in half? And the magician says, like, no. And then he goes like, well, wait a second. The bride's dad, my brother, is dead. And, like, in the most, like, upbeat tone ever, because he's realizing he can get sawed for it. And the magician goes like, well, that does change things.
That does change things.
So good.
Fair enough. Okay. Fair cop.
This feels a little like Seinfeld-y humor with, like, just, I don't know, little equivocations and, like, playing around with, like, different, like, manners and conventions and, like, little quibbles.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I haven't seen Seinfeld, but I know of Seinfeld, and I kind of see what you mean.
Seinfeld is, like, very observational comedy. Like, it's all like just pointing out like, this thing we do is kind of weird, huh?
What's the deal with airline food?
Exactly. I think that was like a Jerry Seinfeld bit originally. So like a Jerry Seinfeld bit would be like, isn't it weird that like the magician at a wedding like can only interact with people who are like important figures in the wedding.
Yeah, I see. But
then like, what if the dad is dead? Then could the uncle step in? Like, it feels Seinfeldy.
You're so right. Yeah, that does sound like a stand-up comedy sketch, doesn't it?
So the Seinfeld show is just based off of Jerry Seinfeld's stand-up.
When worlds collide.
And then, all right, so the next scene that we see in Gavin and Stacey, the show that we're watching. So the next scene that we see is Smithy in Stag City, and he's talking to Jamie, whose real name is Chris.
Yes.
Do we recognise the actor of Jamie?
No.
No.
No? Oh my god, I can't believe you guys didn't notice.
Is he in Doctor Who?
He is, tell me, right? Jamie.
Wait, can I guess?
Go on, have a guess.
Is he the kid in School Reunion?
No,
that wouldn't line
not.
up. That wouldn't line up because he's much older.
He's a big character. You guys will both know this character. You'll know them. They have lines. They're in multiple episodes.
I'm trying to remember what he looks like.
They're a companion.
He's like kind of like a pasty guy, right? He's got like kind of like sticky uppy hair,
kind of overweight-ish.
A little heavier.
He's a companion, is he?
I would say so.
Jesus, okay.
You would say so.
It's not Nardole.
It's Nardole, yeah.
What the fuck?
That piece of shit?
It's Nardole. It's Matt Lucas, yeah. It's Nardole.
It's Matt Lucas?
Yeah.
I gotta pull up a picture. What's the character's name again?
Jamie. I can't believe you guys didn't clock this. That's insane.
That's because I fucking hate Nardole.
Oh, do you?
Oh my god, it is Matt Lucas.
Yeah, I know.
It looks like him and everything.
It's because it is him.
They photoshopped it after the fact. I'm sure of it. It did not look like that the first 2 times I watched it.
Oh man, that's amazing that you guys didn't know that.
Yeah, okay. Now I kind of see why I didn't recognize him. Because he's got like the hair is like completely covering like half his face, and then he's wearing glasses.
He's quite obscured, isn't he? But yeah, Matt Lucas at the time was like one of the biggest comedians in the UK.
Yeah.
Certainly like one of the most well-known sketch comedy artists in the UK of all time. Like he's very, very big deal. And especially at this time, this was like his golden era. So it's like, it's crazy that they managed to get him. And yeah, so they're talking and sort of planning out what they want to do for Gavin Stagg. And there's one line where Jamie says, "You love your mate more than life itself, right?" And then Smithy like nods and confirms, "Yes, I do." And it's just a really sweet moment.
And this is the homoerotic conversation I was referring to earlier.
Oh, really?
He's in love with Jamie. He wants to bring him to this fucking wedding.
You're kind of right, yeah.
Re-listen to that conversation. He's like entranced by him.
My note says, "I think Smithy is in love with Jamie."
I wrote over like covering 2 lines. I wrote tits. Jamie shows shows Smithy like a PowerPoint presentation. Calling it a PowerPoint presentation is giving it way too much credit. It's 3 fucking slides. One of them is just tits.
After the presentation, it looks like Smithy's just had a religious fucking experience. Like he's like, "Oh my god, my mind has been opened to the wonders of the universe." Mm-hmm. And Jamie walks over. "Any questions?" And Smithy just says, "No. It's all clear." What's next?
We cut to Stacey trying on, like, picking out some lingerie, and then the store owner, not the store owner, the I guess job fair person in that area.
She has a name. She is named in the script as Lingerie Woman, I believe.
I wrote down Lingerie Woman Doctor Who.
So I looked this one up, but she was not in Doctor Who. So sorry.
Okay.
And these 2 people have had interactions together before during the 12 other weddings that Stacey has planned.
Yeah, she knows Ness by name. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
And she goes like, "You know, I'm gonna be picking the same lingerie as like the 15 other times. But can you not tell my fiancé about it?"
Yeah,
and,
she's getting everyone in on the conspiracy.
Yeah, and the girl's like, "I don't give a fuck. I'm a girl's girl. I support women's rights. I support women's wrongs. I won't tell a fucking soul." And then Ness comes out, and I had a religious experience. Anybody else?
Oh man, she looks so fucking good, right? Nessa walks out in some latex fetish gear, and she looks so good.
She owns that fucking outfit, man.
Right?
The universe was rewired in my brain in that moment. I was just like James Corden with Jamie a second ago.
Yeah, she walks out and she's like, "I'll take all of this, but I don't need another whip." Like, who do you think I am?
I feel like this might have been a budget thing. Because I noticed at one point, there aren't really very many extras at all.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think
They set it up like it was going to be super busy. And then it seems like kind of a deserted wedding fair.
That's a good point. Yeah, they did make a point of being like, if we don't get there, all the good dresses will be gone or whatever.
Then we cut to the next scene.
Yeah, and what happens?
Well, Smithy is like he's like doing his big elevator pitch to Gavin.
Yes.
About there we go. Point Maylina. He's doing his big like elevator pitch for the stag that Jamie has had pitched to him. And I'll just say this, and obviously this is common information, I shouldn't be surprised at all. I did have a moment of like, it's fucking crazy that Europeans can go to 10 different countries over like a 6-day period or whatever, or however long the fucking stag thing is planned for. That's fucking insane to me. You can just be like, yeah, then we'll hop on over to Prague, then we'll go to fucking Amsterdam. Who gives a shit? Spend the afternoon in fucking Germany, evening in France.
Yeah, right.
I just think that's fucking crazy.
Listen, here's the thing, right? Smithy describes a 9-day holiday, right? Starting for 3 days in Amsterdam, then travelling to Prague, then 4 days later doing a tandem parachute jump, landing in a beer refinery in Hamburg with a lap dance limo on the final night, all for 700 quid. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that sounds like an absolute steal.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be a fool to not take that up.
It sounds like a good deal for a trip. It also sounds like a trip I wouldn't want to take right before my wedding.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It sounds like my idea of hell. I have an immense fear of heights. I don't drink beer, and if I was in a lap dance limo, I think I'd shit myself. But
all right, Maylina, we got to cancel our plans for Pierce's next birthday.
All right, so which part specifically would you change, Pierce? And do you have any recommendations for companies?
I hope the lap dance limo deposit is refundable.
Yeah, and so this is the part where like he's pitching it, and then he like introduces the concept of jammy.
Yeah.
Gavin.
Yeah.
And Gavin goes like, you can bring him to the wedding, and James Corden is like, really? Gay. And I think he could bring him to the wedding if he was like, this is my date, Jammy. If he was like honest with himself and his feelings.
That's so true.
If he drops the high schooler.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gavin says no to the holiday like a fucking buzzkill, and they leave. And after they leave, what happens?
We are now in the 1 second. Give me a second. I got it. Oh, we're at Gwen's house.
The West residence.
And I know this. Right. And so Gwen is planning out some food for people.
Yes.
And she
Whoa, slow the fuck down.
All right, chill out,
man.
They're doing the wedding registry.
Okay.
Nessa's getting them a tattoo.
I remember this. Okay, yeah. Nessa is going to get a tattoo of both their names down her arm.
Not just down her arm.
In Korean, right?
Arabic.
No, there we go. Maylina gets it. Point to Maylina.
Fuck you.
He's pitting us against each other.
I know, right?
Yeah, I don't know why she chose Arabic, but you know, that's...
I feel like we could get Quentin to weigh in on this.
Yeah, Quentin is a tattoo artist.
Text up Quentin, I guess. I feel like Arabic is like a cliche language for like English speakers who want to get like a cool looking tattoo. Like you just like translate it into Arabic or something.
I don't feel like Quentin does many cliche tattoos though. I feel he seems like
does.
a really cool. Oh, does
he doesn't?
Oh, okay.
He's not his own boss.
Yeah,
he works at a tattoo shop. He has a boss, and his boss gives him customers.
Everyone should get tattoos by Quentin if you're in the.
If you're on the South Shore, hit Tats by Quentin up, and he will probably cum his pants right then and there if you take one of his flashes. So go ahead and do that.
Jesus Christ. Flashes for anyone who's not in the tattoo community. Can we explain what that means just to clear up any confusion that I'm sure might have sprung up there?
Yeah, so tattoo artists, right? They'll tattoo
Oh,
whatever
I'll
you
tell
want
what,
if it's
actually,
not like.
mate, because
Yeah.
you're going to take 10 years to explain this. Ori, could you explain what a splash is,
All right.
please?
I'll tell you what. I'll explain my understanding of it, and then since I know significantly less about tattoos, Maylina will clear up anything I get wrong here. I think a flash tattoo is like a small design a tattoo artist makes, and usually they'll have a bunch of them available. But they're like a pretty discounted price, and so you can just walk in and kind of pick one of their flashes.
There we go.
What did I get? Did I get anything wrong? Is there any other context that you need?
You could have added more flair. You could have said anything more. Well, I think the key thing is that you
Here
pick
she
one out.
goes. We find out that Gwen is doing chili con carne.
Yeah.
Yes.
That I did not like how you pronounced that, but I agree.
Oh, really? That's just how everyone pronounces it in the UK.
And Pierce, let's say it was 6:30. How would you pronounce that?
But obviously, Gwen thinks Pam is vegetarian, so she has cooked a cauliflower cheese with no cheese.
Okay. Yes, I have some thoughts here.
Go on.
So I don't know. I don't know what the copyright situation on this is, but I do think that Gwen is weirdo of the week for cooking just like straight up like boiled cauliflower as like an entree.
You get a bit of onion as well.
Yeah.
Cauliflower with a bit of onion.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that's pretty fair, to be honest.
And then she's like, it's not even that. It would be one thing if she's like, I'm so sorry, like, all I've got for you is cauliflower. But she's like, I've got some lovely, like, boiled cauliflower for you.
Yeah. It's very telling considering the amount of effort Pam went into when she thought they were vegetarian. She went to the store and picked out a whole fucking
That's
feast of...
That's so true. Oh my god,
Yeah,
you're so
there we
right.
go. And my thought is, I've said this. I relate to Pam, maybe not in an as extreme way as Pam. I'm not pretending to be vegetarian to get out of shenanigans, but whenever I do get myself into like a pickle like this, I'm always on the lookout for ways to get out of it. This was the perfect opportunity to go, hey, I'm no longer vegetarian.
Yeah,
People
exactly.
can stop being vegetarian.
People do this all the time. Yeah.
But Gwen's already cooked the meal.
You can say, okay, that's lovely. For next time, by the way, I'm no longer vegetarian. And that's
Yeah,
it.
you're so right. Yeah.
And you don't get caught up in any lie.
I think it would have been perfectly, like, no, like, it would have been, like, fine manners for her to be like, oh, like, the cauliflower, that sounds, so good. I'll have some of that, and then
Yeah.
actually I'm also not vegetarian anymore, so could I also have some chili?
Yeah. And then my next note is that Gwen's really fucking hot.
I do like, Pam just says, smuggle me some meat.
Yeah, because so Mick is like winding her up when
Yeah.
Gwen is talking about how she's made Pam this cauliflower. It's not cauliflower cheese, it's just cauliflower. Mick is like, oh, thanks, Gwen. Isn't that lovely, Pam? How Gwen is being so welcoming and catering to your needs so well. And Pam tries to hit back at Mick and be like, what you won't know, Gwen, is that Mick is also a vegetarian now. He's going to be supporting me and he's going to be vegetarian as well. And Mick just does not let it fly. And
Yeah.
it's hilarious because you just know that this strategy would have worked on her. Like, if Mick had done this to Pam
Yeah.
would have caved 100% and been like,
yeah, no, he, I like this a lot. He's not yes-anding her.
yeah.
But no, it's like, it's very playful. Like, you know,
I love it.
It's like, Pam is like basically proposing this bit where they both pretend to be vegetarian. And he's
Yeah.
like, what if actually we do this bit where only you're vegetarian and I laugh at you?
So next up, they go back into the living room. And, well, Smithy specifically goes into the living room, and they're all like,
Nah, man, you're missing out on serious. This is.
Yeah,
this
I
is-
thought so my next note is also about the scene that Maylina was talking about, but I knew you were gonna fucking do this, Pierce.
All right. So later in the night, Smithy and Nessa are both waiting for the bathroom in silence.
And then they go to the bathroom and it's fine. We don't need to talk about this.
Okay.
he just got
Fine.
Fortnite danced on.
Fine, we could just skip this vital character moment where Smithy and Nessa have some clear tension between them, and
No, go
Smithy
ahead.
tries to.
What's
No,
the
no,
scene?
it's fine. No, we can
No,
skip
go
it.
ahead.
In fact, why don't we just watch the episode instead and not talk about it? This is pointless.
You know what? They'll do that thing that they did with Nathan, and they'll accuse us of bullying Pierce.
I mean, that would be accurate. You do bully me. It's horrible.
You threatened to kill us something like 7 times. In the
That's
last
not bullying.
episode.
That's just threatening to kill you.
Bully Free Fridays. You can't threaten to murder somebody.
It's Saturday.
No, you don't know about Bully Free Fridays?
I don't.
No, what's that?
Is Bully Free Fridays not a thing outside Canada?
No.
Nope.
Are you allowed to bully people on the other 6 days in Canada?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
That's what people were saying.
What the fuck?
Because put yourself in the mind of a high schooler, right? So the school had good intentions, I guess. It's like not every Friday, just like one Friday out of the year. That's called Bully Free Friday, where they just like you can give some money. They give you like a pink hat that says Bully Free Zone or whatever the fuck on it. And 2 things with that. One, the hat looked like a condom, so like you just got bullied more for wearing it.
Let me get this straight. You have to give someone money, and then you have to wear a lame hat.
Yeah.
Nah, pay me to wear the nerd hat. I'm not kidding.
and then the worst part is people like exactly what Ari said. They were like, so you get to bully people on every other day of the year, right? So like the day before and the school day after Bully Free Fridays were just like the most fucking dangerous fucking days at that school. And that's Bully Free Friday.
Great. Another classic Maylina tale.
I feel like I took a normal amount of time saying that.
No, it's good.
Anyway.
Gavin and Stacey.
Yeah. So, what happens later in the night when they come down?
Yes. So this is what Maylina and I were talking about. So, Smithy comes back and they're all talking about him, or they're all like whispering, and then they stop when he walks in.
Mm-hmm.
And then Stacey's like, "I'm so sorry, like, we have to do this," they're all like, we gotta do this thing, and he's like, what is it, just tell me, and they're like, we have to go to church, and Smithy's like, this is the worst thing to ever happen to another human being.
Yeah, they have to go to church to get the banns read, which I didn't actually know what this was. I
wasn't exactly sure either.
Yeah, I've looked it up. It's actually pretty interesting. So it's like, you know that bit in a wedding where a priest or whoever is like, yeah, that bit where he's like, if anyone thinks this should not happen, speak up now or forever hold your peace.
That's my favorite bit. Hilarious.
Yeah, it's everyone's favorite bit of a wedding, right? It's where all the drama happens. It's like an extension of that. So like the definition is, banns are an announcement in church of your intention to marry, and a chance for anyone to put forward a reason why the marriage may not lawfully take place. And they have to be done 3 times before a wedding can happen, apparently.
Oh.
So it's like, you give people like 3 weeks to do their I object thing, which is pretty cool.
Maylina, if you wind up getting married, and if for some reason I end up coming, I think we have to come up with a bit to do.
You know what's funny though? I'm not like a huge fan of like most wedding traditions.
Yeah.
So I didn't know this, but apparently like, okay, so there was this couple, right? They were going to get married. And then as a bit, one of like the groomsmen decided to object to the wedding. But apparently in the specific church that they're in, if you object to the wedding, you can't get married that day. You have to postpone it. Like that's like it's not like the priest will not get you even if it's a bit. So they just couldn't get married.
That's the best bit ever.
Did they still have the wedding reception, like the party afterwards? Do you remember?
I imagine you would.
I don't know, but I know that they had to like reschedule because like that church had another wedding the next day and stuff. Like they had to like find another day that the church was ready at, and he did not get invited to the.
Yeah,
to the
I'm sure he did.
Is what I've heard.
So yeah, Smithy has to go too, and he's pissed off about having to go to church, and then
I do think it's funny that like they go like we all have to go, and it doesn't cross his mind immediately that means him too. Like they specifically have to specify,
including
you too, dude.
Okay, I have a note on this. I think from anyone else, this would be a funny bit. From Smithy, it's religious intolerance.
Yeah, of course. Send this man to jail, etc., etc.
Yeah.
What happens next? Alright, so we cut to the next morning in church, and Smithy's just there bored out of his mind. And we have a returning character.
Yeah, we do have a. I think are you talking about Dick Powell?
No, I'm talking about Doris. We see Doris again.
Okay, Doris. Yes, that was gonna be my second guess.
Yeah,
that's Doris.
Who's singing in the? We haven't seen her since episode 1, I think. But yeah, Doris is there, and they're all like singing a hymn, and Bryn is like harmonizing. Man, dude's got pipes.
Yeah, and Smithy's texting his underage girlfriend. 2 things about this, right?
Oh god,
In a church, man.
One is she gonna fucking turn 18? And I bet Smithy's asking this too. And 2, one thing I like about this show is that like, even though it's a sitcom, sitcoms often they'll like introduce bits and then they'll like, it's like they reset next episode, like it's like it doesn't matter what happened in the previous episode. Yeah. The vegetarian bit is a good one, and I like that. I wish they'd abandoned this one though. This is a bit that I wish they'd move on from.
All right. I'm forced to tell you something here because I want you guys to see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Does James Corden get killed in season 2?
No, but all right, just hear me out, right? James Corden's girlfriend does not remain throughout the entire show. She will no longer be referenced after a certain point.
Because she turns 18 and James Corden loses interest, or what?
That's where I thought you were going with that.
I won't say any more than that, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You guys have something to look forward to in the Lucy saga is not forever.
Pierce is so scared that we're going to stop doing this podcast just because of James Corden's underage girlfriend.
I am. But yeah, regardless of my fear that you guys are going to be quitting the podcast because of James Corden, we have Father Chris, who is the priest.
Yes.
And Father Chris is played by the great William Thomas. And William Thomas was in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to hazard a guess as to what season he
I don't
was
really
in?
remember what he looks like. I'm guessing Russell T Davies era.
Yes, you're correct.
I feel like he's giving like Space Crew vibes. Like he's gonna be like in a 42 or something.
He's not Space Crew.
Wait. Okay. One other guess. One other guess. Is he in Father's Day?
No, he's not in Father's Day.
Okay. Maylina, anything?
My guess was Father's Day, but I'm going to try another one.
Go on. Let's
see. Does he play a unit, dude?
No, he's not unit.
Okay, she got 2 guesses. I get 2 guesses too.
Okay, yeah.
Does he voice like a Dalek or a Cyberman
No, he
or
does
something?
not.
Interesting.
You were never going to get it. This is such an obscure
Pierce, what are your
character.
guesses?
Well, I guess my guess is that he was in the cold open of Boomtown playing Mr. Cleaver.
And were you right?
I was 100% right. Yeah. He's the guy who gets killed by the Slovene in the cold open of Boomtown. You know, what the guy who's like, this power station is gonna blow up the city or whatever.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. I remember. I vaguely remember that.
Thank goodness we have you, our esteemed leader. And then she fucking kills him. So,
what's everyone's favorite sandwich?
Oh, mate, I have that was one of my notes as well.
Yes, same. I wrote. Well, the first thing I wrote is that I don't eat meat, so I don't actually know this from personal experience. I was raised vegetarian. But ham and egg to me sounds like kind of a cursed sandwich.
Yeah,
I just feel
like
like
the sound of that.
I feel like to me it seems like the meats shouldn't mix except in very specific circumstances. So, like, I feel like if you have the ham, you don't need the egg, and vice versa.
Egg is not a meat, Ori.
Okay, I understand that, but I feel like it's like halfway to being a meat. I just feel like you don't need both.
Okay.
I feel like you don't need both in there. I do eat eggs also, I will say. But I feel like you don't need both in there.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, Father Chris does his homily and then sort of goes around asking the room. Doris likes a tuna. She likes a tuna sandwich.
I like a tuna.
And she won't lie to the priest.
I like a tuna, Father Chris. I won't lie to you.
I like how in the show, Welsh people say something and then they're like, I won't lie to you.
Yeah, no,
I love that
good.
every time.
Yeah. They'll say just the most mundane thing and be like, I'm not lying. I'm not lying about it. And then we see Dick Powell.
Yeah, and he says something in Welsh.
He does. He, I think it was chicken and Glamorgan sausage. I don't know what Glamorgan sausage is.
Glamorgan is something that's mentioned in Macbeth, I think.
It's Glamorgan, not Glamorgan.
I think so. I'm going to look this up now. That's going to be crazy if I fact-checked you on that.
We're all waiting with bated breath.
Yes, no, it's 100%. It's Glamorgan. It's Glamorgan sausage.
All right, I put my hands up there. That's my bad. I will just go off and kill myself.
Look how far you've fallen.
And then Father Chris goes over to Bryn, and Bryn just liking cheese is so based. Like, I'd be too scared to admit that.
Yeah.
I'd think I'd be laughed at for being so basic.
He's so cute. I love Bryn. He finds the joy in everything. He's such a ray of sunshine.
Should we say what our favorite sandwiches are?
Yeah, I would like to know what is your guys' favorite sandwich.
I don't know. A good sandwich is a good sandwich. Like, I have a hard time ranking them. If I had to say, like, off the top of my head, like, a sandwich I want right now, I feel like I could go for a fried egg sandwich. A lot of the times I'll put...
But that's got meat in it. By your definition, it's halfway to meat.
Okay. It's halfway there. It's not all the way there. And then... fuck, you threw me off. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Like a fried egg sandwich. And usually I'll put, like, some cheese on that, and then, like, either tomato and or avocado.
Exotic.
Avocado is not an exotic food here.
No, it's not. But I just had to think of a word to react to it. I couldn't just say nothing.
You've already said enough.
May, what's your favourite sandwich?
Okay, Ari did just say that, like, she doesn't like when the meats are touching, so she might hate this. I like Subway sandwich bread, right? The,
okay.
Baguette that's, like, cut there. And then I like to put just put a bunch of meat on there. I don't care what it is, but usually if someone, like, is insisting that I pick some meat, like if I'm at Subway or something, I'll go pepperoni, capicolo, salami, and bologna, and put that on there. I don't care how you put it, and then just put, like, any cheese. Usually, like, if they have the Quebec cheese that I really like, I'll go with that one. Like the cheese curds, put cheese curds on there. But if they don't have cheese curds, which they usually don't when I'm at Subway, I'll take cheddar, and then just, like, put that in, like, the microwave for 15 seconds, and then I'll eat that. Pierce, what's your sandwich? Also, I can't lie about my sandwich choice. Pierce, you go now.
Very good.
I also can't lie. I like a sourdough bread with butter on the outside.
Wild.
Because I'm gonna fry it.
Okay.
Butter on the outside. On the inside, one slice of American cheese, and then some more other cheese, like real cheese, grated of some sort, whether it be cheddar, Gruyere, red Leicester. Also with a slice of ham and some chili flakes, and then fry that off until it's golden brown.
I like that I disagreed with, like, every step of that.
And then we have the scene where the priest just goes fucking insane at Gavin.
Yeah, this is honestly, I think this might be, just off the top of my head, I think this might be the funniest bit of the show so far for me.
Oh, for real? Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see the point!
He, like, turns around and he calls him a stupid cockney or whatever.
Yeah.
The bread is God! The filling is Jesus!
It's so good. And then as he walks away, Gavin and Smithy both sort of laugh giggle at each other like they're back at school. Yeah. I think it's really cute.
I think they should get a different pastor. I know it's short notice, but, like...
No, I love this guy. I love this guy.
I love Father Chris. I think he's great. But then, the mass ends and they all sort of leave, and you see Bryn and Mick chatting, which is nice. Like, I like seeing these characters interact with each other. It's really cute. Everyone's just getting along. Like, Bryn's talking about how the priest is usually good as gold, and then everyone starts saying goodbye. And does anyone have a note?
Yes.
Oh!
They reference the front bottoms.
Yes, Bryn says, au revoir.
We almost made it!
I was getting worried towards the end. I was like, oh god, we're not going to have a That's French this episode. But luckily, Bryn clutched up. Yeah.
Then Nessa and Stacey are hanging out outside the church.
Nessa said she's going home.
And that's it. All right, 3 good things.
All right. Nessa, turns out, is late. Her period is late. Uh-oh.
I love that Ness is regular. What a queen is all I have to say about that.
Fourth Wednesdays is crazy.
Yeah. That's regular as hell. Pierce, thoughts?
So it is implied that because she starts listing off people it's not, or Stacey starts listing off people, and I was like, no. And then it cuts to Smithy doing the cruise Mary shag.
Yeah. So, looks like Nessa thinks she's pregnant with Smithy's kid. I guess we'll have to see what happens there.
I believe her.
You believe her, yeah?
Nessa thinks, so do I think. Don't say that like it might not be Smithy's kid. I know you know the answer. I know you know whether or not it's true or not. Okay. I support my girl. If she says it's Smithy's, it's fucking Smithy's.
Right, okay.
There we go.
So, what do you have any predictions about what's going to happen here? Do you think, like, she might be wrong, that she might not be pregnant? Do you think she is pregnant, but it's not Smithy's?
I don't think she's going to have a baby. I just don't. No. I don't think that's the direction the show is going in. Okay. She does seem like a pro-choice queen, so she could get an abortion, and that could be like a direction for the show to do an episode in.
That makes sense.
I think she could also just it could just be one of those things where she's late on her period.
It's also very true. May, do you have any direction?
I'll go out of left field.
Okay.
Because if I'm right, it's going to be insane.
Okay.
I'm going to say she's in love with Smithy and she just doesn't recognize the feeling, and so she thinks she's pregnant, and she just happens to also be late.
Oh, okay.
Maybe her feelings for Smithy are so strong
that
it affected her cycle.
I would respect that.
Yeah.
I would say my prediction, but I feel like I have an unfair advantage in this little guessing game that we're doing.
Yeah, no, I think you should keep it to yourself.
Right. Well, on that bombshell, it's time for 3 good things. For those of you who might not know, every episode we'd like to share a good thing that has happened to us recently and just leave the episode on a high note. I do feel like I should mention, by the way, we're recording these episodes once a week for a while because of scheduling conflicts over the summer. Nothing will change for you, our listeners. We'll still be uploading every other Wednesday as normal, but it just means that our good things are probably going to be a little bit more minor because we only have 1 week between each of them. So, on that, who wants to go first?
I feel like it's my turn to go first.
Okay, alright, go first.
Pretty small potatoes, but I got a new laptop a little while ago, and I was having trouble getting it set up, but now it seems to be working, and I used it to record this podcast today.
Hell yeah! Did it work? Did we have any crashes or any...
I have been able to hear you the whole time, but I will say the part that my computer does is on the video call. Like my phone, it would have to be an issue with my phone for the audio to be affected.
Okay, amazing. May, do you have a good thing?
So Pierce and I have played many games together.
Okay.
We've played chess. Pierce, who won at chess between you and me?
I feel like it was me, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. We played poker. Who won at poker?
Oh, right, I know where this is going. Yeah, I won.
You won at poker, right?
I did, yeah.
All right. Currently, we are playing Scrabble. Currently, we've had 2 games. One game, what did you do, Pierce, for that game?
I conceded because I was not good enough to win.
And so then, who's winning the second game right now?
You are absolutely thrashing me. Let me check the actual scores, because listeners, you're not to know this, but Maylina is fucking cracked Words with Friends or Scrabble. The score is currently 192 to me to 323 to Maylina.
That's insane.
Gang. So that's my good thing, is that I'm finally winning at something against Pierce.
Yeah, it turns out Maylina is fucking insane.
Pierce, what's your good thing?
My good thing is earlier today, I got my computer back from the repair thing.
Oh wait, where's your camera?
I haven't set it up yet.
Fuck you, I set up my computer.
Whatever. So yeah, I can now try to start making money again, hopefully.
Yeah.
Please, someone, for the love of God, hire me. So yeah, thank you ever so much for listening. If you'd like to keep up with the show, we're on TikTok, Instagram, and Blue Sky at Fishing Trip Files, so do give us a follow over there. Or if you ever want to get in touch with the show for whatever reason, you can email us at thefishingtripfiles@gmail.com. I do have an email that I'd like to read to you both. I haven't read this myself, I've just seen it come in. This email is from Nat, who emailed us last week. And she didn't put her pronouns this time, so I'm just going to say they. She put her pronouns last time, so I was able to say she.
Well, okay, but I feel like we can, if she wrote in with her pronouns last week, we can go with the pronouns she said last time and assume that she would update us if she wanted her pronouns changed.
Yeah. I mean, we know her pronouns as she, her, but I just like, for posterity.
No, I appreciate the due diligence.
Nat is a friend of the show. So, she writes, "Hi Ari, Maylina, and Pierce. Brackets. I went alphabetical this time, so Pierce doesn't get a bigger head." Fair enough. First, let me just say that Ari and Maylina's firm conviction in Smithy being a criminal who deserves to go to jail brings me life.
Yes.
Pierce, take the nostalgia goggles off, babe. That's fair. Okay, fair enough.
We love you, Nat.
She goes on to say, "I had my daughter in 2015, and while I didn't live in New York City, hoverboards were everywhere in the Baltimore/Washington DC area around that time. So I'm confident that Pierce's recollections are correct. I bought my daughter one during COVID, but it just sits charging against the wall because she's too afraid of falling on her face to practice. C'est la vie." Brackets. Yes, Pierce, that is French. Good job. Yeah, that's French, baby. And that goes on to say that wearing shoes indoors in America is largely dependent on one's idea of what is considered polite. Some people think it's impolite to ask their guests to remove their shoes. Some people believe it's impolite to enter someone's home without removing their shoes. Most of the time, guests are told they can wear shoes on or off as they feel comfortable. Unless it's an Asian household, then if you wear shoes indoors, it's a war crime.
Interesting.
I like how Nat is framing this. I think it is very much like a manners thing.
Yeah, so May, unfortunately we're not going to be able to provide you with a map of where it is and isn't acceptable. You just have to ask.
Damn it, I don't like this vague nonsense.
And then Nat goes on to say that she'll end with this. You all missed a fantastic opportunity when talking about Pam pretending to be vegetarian. You called it Pam's panic attack in the kitchen. You should have called it a pamic attack. You're welcome.
That's pretty good.
On that. It's a pamic attack. Of course it is. I'm sure there'll be more of those that we can use that for. Love the pod. You're all definitely doing your jobs. Lots of love, Nat.
Aww.
Thanks, Nat. Appreciate the
Thank you, Nat. We love you.
If you want to help out the show without it costing you a penny, please feel free to leave us a review or rating on your podcast platform of choice. We'd appreciate it very much. Once again, this podcast is produced by Another Happy Studio, so please do check out the other podcasts from them if you haven't already. All their wonderful stuff is linked in the show notes. But for now, we'll see you on the Wednesday after next at 10 a.m. with the next episode. And actually, next episode, it won't just be the three of us.
What?
We're going to have a segment of episode 5 where we spend some time chatting to a very special guest. But more about that in 2 weeks' time. A little bit of sizzle there. As we always say, au revoir.
Adios.
Rock and roll.